let's share the criticism over on the green side as well.
Yeah.
We have Phil Spencer saying, "I've made some of the worst game choice decision." And he admits he passed on Destiny and Guitar Hero, but has no regrets. He should probably regret that. And going over this, we have some rumors that Phil Spencer is being pulled into some meetings, which may hint at possible change in leadership on the Xbox side. All of this is just conspiracy theory, take it with a grain of salt, but obviously you got to take into account Xbox's decision to throw a lot of their first parties in the third party camp, the Play Everywhere campaign, the investments into cloud, and then switching to GeForce on their own console. Where are we at with Xbox? Who are they? I don't think they know when they look at the mirror. But I will stop this one before like somebody needs to play the pony sound now, and then I can transition.
Listen, I told you I'm not fast on the thing, bro, but you really are a bit of a.
Who wants to talk on Phil Spencer possibly making the worst choices as an Xbox holder? Does anyone here want to say, in my personal opinion, Xbox could have been better in terms of game exclusivity?
Wilson, I think Wilson should talk about this. He's the only Xbox player here, right?
No, we have Ray.
Am I the only one that doesn't?
Gamer.
Am I the only one that doesn't feel bad for Phil Spencer wiping tears with cash?
Yeah, no.
Wiping away his tears with cash.
I looked up his yearly salary. I think it's like $10 million a year.
Oh, hold on.
Oh my
let
goodness.
Callie
I'm gonna be honest. I don't.
Go.
Go ahead.
Haven't heard from Callie. Go, Callie.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think. I think both companies are making bad choices or speaking like they're just saying things that they shouldn't. Like Sony saying that they don't have any IPs to build upon when they have a full-on graveyard full of IPs that they can revive, revamp, bring life back to. And then Xbox has all these IPs that they're now just pretty much giving them away. I feel like both companies right now are not sitting in a good spot. All I could say is PC pretty sure looks good from up there, don't it?
Well, PC2 is around the corner. So
PC2.
wait for that on a 2025 release as a 5v5 shooter.
Well, it's just I did want to say I agree. Phil Spencer has made some horrible mistakes. Like I think Microsoft did pass on Spider-Man. That would have been like a huge game for them to get. They passed on Genshin Impact. So yeah, some of these like influential, like big titles passed on, and that's not good. But at the same time, I feel like Sony have also made mistakes. It's just they've been doing a lot, better choices. Really,
I think the larger corporate decisions reflect the overall state of like the gaming sphere currently. Like a lot of people missing the mark. All closures, layoffs, all that type of stuff. And I think ultimately what it leads to is, these big companies like the Sonys and Xbox of the world and being less concerned with like IP and known IP and gamers gravitating eventually over time to like more original ideas, whatever that may be, that aren't these big IP franchises. Like how many times can they remake Call of Duty over the next 20 years and sell people on gun skins and that type of thing? For players just say, okay, enough's enough.
Yeah, how long until the market breaks? I guess we'll see that in the Game Pass numbers. How long can they sustain? Will it go up? Will it go down? It's the market that will respond. And like I said before, I feel like it's got to be so hard when games take so long to make. When you start making a game to guess where the trends will be 8 years from now, 5 years from now. I mean, that's got to be next to near impossible to do.
Well, to your point, Rudigs, that's what you're saying. Basically, Concord did. They went with an 8-year-old trend. By the time the game came out, the trends were not the same at all.
Yeah.
Right, and
Well,
that's my argument. You need to focus less on trends and more on just making a good game.
Like, what does
Don't
it
try
say
to-
when they're
don't-
not giving us what we want? Like, they're not
Right,
giving
ex-
us the games we want necessarily. Some people get satisfied here and there with some gems, but like, I don't know.
But here's the thing: is that you're spot on with that. SVG is they're not listening to the consumer, what the consumers want. It doesn't matter if it's Xbox, it's PlayStation, who it is. These companies aren't listening to the feedback from consumers, what consumers want. They used to ages ago. They used to years ago. You know, with the PS3, the 360, the all of these systems. These companies used to listen, and that's why these games were good back then. As time has gone on, the almighty green paper has made more of a
Well, that's it. They chose what they listen to, right? They don't listen to the gamers
Yep.
as much as they listen to the business, to the publishers, to the economy that's shaped around the gaming industry.
They listen to a bunch of suits sitting at a round table or a rectangle, whatever shape you want to call it, but they listen to a bunch of board members or
But
shareholders.
we're being all doom and
These are
gloomy,
all
yeah, right?
old-
Not every
these are
company,
all-
all right? Look at Larian.
get-
Look
I
at
get
who
that.
made Astrobot, Rue? Because
They're not a publicly traded company.
Team Asobi. But I
Yeah,
get
like-
I get what you're
let's
saying
not-
now.
hey,
It
hey.
used to be more of a niche marketplace back say even 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and that's where real creativity game art could really shine through. And now in the past years, it's becoming more of a money-making machine. It's on the stock market. It's got to answer to shareholders. It's becoming less of a niche and becoming more of a movie production situation. It's almost like your Xbox, your PlayStation is the new Cineplex, because some of these movies are costing as much as, or some of these games are costing as much as movies to produce. So it's literally copying that formula at this
And
point.
they went from
Honestly,
not taking themselves seriously and making fun little things that people learn to love and cherish to taking themselves very seriously and saying, okay, bottom line, how do we replicate numbers? How do we multiply numbers? And it's no longer about experience or creativity for a lot of people, not for
All
everyone.
right, let's get
Joe's a
to
developer, right?
let's get to Joe, then we'll get to Vet and Maker, and we're gonna jump off this one. So let's get
right.
Joe.
So my last thing is that's why you see, big names leaving big companies to start their own ventures. Like just in the past week or so, I don't recall the name, but like one of the big players at Capcom said, "Hey, I'm leaving after
Yes.
26 years to start my own studio to work on like fun, creative, small projects that I know players will like love and enjoy." And that's why you see all these, Blizzard devs and all these other folks leaving these big organizations to start smaller projects or smaller teams because they can work on stuff that's fun that they know like players want this. And like if I can't do it at big company X, I'm going to do it on my own.
Yeah, exactly. And then independence, and you're still able to get a decent avenue onto the marketplace through Steam and other avenues.
Mhm.
But Maker, or Vet, sorry, Vet and then Maker.
No, you could skip me. Joe basically said what I was gonna say.
All right, Maker. Anything to close us out on Phil Spencer's decisions?
I will say, like on the top of like this whole like making it like a big movie production, there's one thing that I actually like that Xbox does, and that was like allow people like Obsidian to make Pentiment. Pentiment is a very niche game. It was made by like a small team, and within Obsidian, and yet they were still like they still greenlit it, released it, and I like that. And there are other kind of like style projects that even PlayStation does. They've done Journey and some amazing like indie style titles. So I think it is what it is, and we'll see where it leads us.
There we